Hello. Good morning, beautiful people on the internet. Now, I just wanted to talk about or make a video about Logan Sargent saying that, hey, maybe potentially he has to go, right?
God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
He has to go. His crash in Zandvoort wasn't too hot. It was looking like an average Mazepin crash. I'm sorry, Mazepin. Sorry, Logan Sargent. But that's just how it was. And I recorded the video. And then he got dropped. So, well, that idea is scrapped. And that got me thinking, what other drivers are under pressure right now? Because Logan Sargent was clearly under pressure the entire season, last season as well. And the pressure finally got to him. And he choked. Not literally, he's still alive. But like, he fumbled the bag and he crashed the car. Then he got dropped. Now, of course, if I were to be making this video a couple days ago, before the Logan Sargent getting dropped shenanigans situation, I would have said, yeah, Logan Sargent is probably under the most pressure. I'm not saying that the person I'm going to talk about right now is under the most pressure, because I don't think he is. Then what exactly are you waffling about? But I think there's still some pressure on him, and if I were to say McLaren driver, yeah, Lando Norris, championship, right? I think Oscar Piastri potentially might be under a slight bit more pressure, because the entire season, or me personally, I've been kind of clowning on Sergio Perez saying, well, Bahrain, 22-second lead, that's a lot to Max Verstappen in equal machinery. But then you got Oscar Piastri, a race winner this season, by the way. It's not like he's been doing horribly. It's just, well, he isn't what Lando is, right? I think the pressure of the 22.9 second lead in Zandvoort is a bit concerning. For Lando to win the championship, he needs Oscar Piastri to be there. He needs him to be like, there we land. Oscar Piastri secures a P2 position pretty much every single race. Otherwise, Verstappen's going to gain a lot if he wins and gets P2s, and Oscar Piastri isn't there. I think kind of McLaren are low-key kind of counting on Oscar Piastri to do something this season. Yeah, he scored podiums. Yeah, he's gotten the win. But, like, now it really matters, right? It's not like... You get what I'm saying? Absolutely no idea. You know, you can call it recency biased and say, you're only saying this because Lando won the last race, and you're going to say that Lando can now officially win races, and he isn't Lando no-wins anymore.
McLaren bounce back after the summer break, take the Dutch Grand Prix, Lando Norris wins in Zandvoort.
And Piastri was a long ways off. You're going to forget about Spa when he was cooking. You're going to forget about Hungary when he won a race. You're going to forget about all of those times, Monaco. Yeah, I am. You're as good as your last race, right? So if his form continues and what? He's nowhere near Lando Norris, that might be a bit concerning. And Lando's championship actually might be off. A lot of people are calling me delusional for saying that he's even in the championship fight. But fuck say, I believe it may happen. So yeah, Oscar Piastri, fucking buckle your belt in. Get closer to Lando, please. Yeah. So, do you think that Oscar Piastri will actually deliver? Oscar Piastri does not feel pressure. I'm telling you that. Bro is like the Kimi Räikkönen Iceman. However, pressure and actually doing your job are two different things. I think that he will struggle this year. He will struggle to get closer to Lando. He will struggle to help Lando in some occasions. It's like the Perez situation. He's not that good to be as close to Verstappen. And I don't think that Piastri is as good yet. That's the difference. Yet. Perez has reached his peak in his career. Perez has peaked. Whereas Oscar Piastri is only getting started. I think he will get closer. And I think he will help out Lando. But it will be a tad close. Yeah. Now, this is time for an analogy. You know, I love analogies. And I think analogies are one of the greatest things of all time. And you remember Master Oogway in Kung Fu Panda? You might be saying, what meds has he been taking to get Master Wait, no. What's his name? Yeah, Master Oogway in a video about Formula 1. Huh? What are you smoking? Okay, Master Oogway is that old guy who's just been there, done that. He's the guy, right? He is the dog's bollocks. But then he dies. Lewis Hamilton, the guy in Mercedes. But then he leaves. He hasn't died. And then Master Shifu has to take over and, like, be good, right? He isn't the greatest. Let's be real. He's good, but he isn't what Master Oogway was. And George Russell is that Master Shifu, right? He isn't yet what Oogway is, or Hamilton, but he has to take the reins because Hamilton's leaving and Oogway's dying. You get what I'm trying to say here? No idea. I think George Russell is under slight pressure because he has to, for the first time in his, maybe not, but he has to be the lead driver of the team. Over the last couple of years, it's been Lewis Hamilton. Robert Kubica was a much more experienced driver than him, even though Robert Kubica was kind of getting slapped up, but he still did beat him on points because... And now with the hype around Kimi Antonelli, like he's going to be the next Max Verstappen or something, probably going to be announced, like, who knows, fuck it, it might be announced now whilst I'm recording this, but it will be probably this weekend, and him being in the car next year. George Russell has to show that leadership, that role of, I can be Mr. Consistency like I was in 2022. I can score wins upon wins and not be dominated. Because the last time someone like Kimi Antonelli, let's compare him to Max Verstappen, entered the sport, he slapped up everybody that was in their path. He retired Ricciardo single-handedly. And if you're going to tell me that Kimi Antonelli is going to retire George Russell right now, I think you're also delusional. However, we've seen Max Verstappen do it to Daniel Ricciardo, who was a multiple-time race winner and, like, championship-worthy, right? You know, comparing him to George Russell, multiple-time race winner, championship-worthy. It's looking a little similar, looking a little the same. So if George Russell kind of can't step into that role, then eyebrows might have to be raised. And maybe they'll call Lewis Hamilton back. Maybe. Yet the George Russell pressure isn't like that type of pressure that, like, you're normally used to in Formula 1. You know, the Formula 1 pressure is like, drive to survive, or you're getting dropped. You need to score points, X amount of points, we need to win races, we need to score podiums. I think it's a tad different for Russell. Like, fuck it, it might not even be... I mean, he's a rookie at the end of the day. What can he do? He's like a little toddler. But then you just remind yourself of what Max Verstappen did as a toddler to Ricciardo and Fiat and Jev and Carlos Sainz. Yep, but he's got nothing on Grosjean in Monaco. George Russell. Pressure? Will he fumble? What? What are you saying? Let's keep it a stack. George Russell isn't even thinking about next year at the moment. Probably. He thinks that next year's going to be an easy peasy roll through. You got Kimi Antonelli, new person in the car. It's going to be pretty simple. There won't be no Lewis Hamilton. There won't be no real competition. He will probably be deciding the pace of the car. He'll be like, yeah, that's the pace of the car. If we're the first fastest car, that's where it is. If it's the second fastest car, that's just where it is. And, well, who knows? You might have to think about Kimi Antonelli slightly, but not to the extent that I was making it out to be. I think I was a tiny bit exaggerative. Probably no pressure this year, but for next year to be the lead captain driver, yeah, probably slightly. That's it. Maybe similar pressure to what Lando Norris felt going into 2023 with a new teammate. Wow, you're actually the older guy this time, for the first time. But Daniel Ricciardo was a bit different because he was kind of washed, whereas Lewis Hamilton is still kind of cooking, so maybe not the same, but kind of similar. Now I'd be making this video like half hour long if I were to not group these three drivers into one little small cluster. And I don't want to make this video for, like, that long. I'm just, no. Who do you think I am? So, I also think that the three Red Bull what's his name? Perez, Ricciardo, and Yuki. I think they are under immense pressure. One of them, at the end of the day, is going to lose their seat. That is, if Helmut Marko's word actually means something. Because let's be real, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he's on that good medications. Because he has said that Liam Lawson will have a drive in one of our cars. Now that is saying a lot. Because a drive in one of our cars, Perez has a contract for 1 year and maybe 2, right? That's meant to be a done deal. No one's meant to have that seat. But he's saying that in one of our cars, that means that Perez might still get dropped. Perez under pressure. One of our cars, Daniel Ricciardo, under pressure. Yuki Tsunoda, under pressure. One of those three is going to get dropped by the end of the season for Liam Lawson. But if that doesn't happen, then Liam Lawson is going to be declined by Red Bull, declined by AlphaTauri, declined by Williams, or, you know, not let into Williams, and he's probably not even going to be able to drive a Uber Eats because Red Bull wouldn't want him to drive there. It's all a bit weird, right? Anyway, Sergio Perez's seat isn't guaranteed, even though he says it is guaranteed, but we deep inside all know the Red Bull can, like, you know, when you have a fly on your desk and you, like, flick it, and that's what they're going to do to Sergio Perez, if need be. If, say, they lose the constructors, if, say, they lose the drivers, they need somebody better for next year, and maybe Ricciardo, maybe Yuki, maybe Lawson might be that option. Now, Daniel Ricciardo, if he's low-key been getting slapped up by Yuki Tsunoda. Agreed. The difference per lap in the race, I think, was like 8/10 between Yuki and Daniel, which was a huge difference in pace per lap. I think that's what it was, right? But if he consistently gets out-qualified like he has been by Yuki Tsunoda, and Yuki Tsunoda still at the end of the season has pretty much double his points, then I don't know about Daniel Ricciardo, who might have more experience. In the Silverstone test, he might have last year. He might have basically been on pole position. But that's all theoretical. In practical, at the moment, what has he actually been doing? He has weekends where he's there, weekends where he's not there. Maybe he also is feeling the pressure, and that is making him crumble. And I think that is the same thing that's happening with Yuki Tsunoda. He was good at the start of the season, when there was minimal pressure on him. But now the pressure is here, because he knows that, oh, a lot is actually riding on this season. And therefore he's crumbling, like a little apple crumble. How sweet. Get it? Because apple crumbles are sweet. But as I was saying, the pressure on the three Red Bull boys is much different to the pressure of George Russell, because George Russell isn't fighting for a seat. He's fighting for, well, not just being that head of the team. They're expecting him to be the head of the team, and if he doesn't do that, then who knows what might happen to him. But these three are actually fighting for a singular race seat. 3 seats, 4 drivers. Ooh. So, who do you think is going to get the racing seats in the RB and Red Bulls and stuff like that? Now, it's all it's a little dodgy, right? Because Perez has a contract, right? Perez is contracted. And Yuki Tsunoda is also contracted for next year. And Daniel Ricciardo is the only person who isn't contracted. And if Helmut Marko is saying that Liam Lawson will be in one of our cars next year, then the logical way to think about it is Daniel Ricciardo is going to get dropped. And Liam Lawson is going to step in for Daniel Ricciardo next year. However, Christian Horner loves Ricciardo. I mean, who doesn't? Oh, you can't see. Can you? Is that him? No, that's somebody. Anyway, there's a picture up there. Oh, shaking. There's a picture up there of Daniel Ricciardo. Who doesn't love Daniel Ricciardo, right? Yeah, no, we all do. Yuki Tsunoda, there's a little... Is prejudice the right word against him? Because it's Yuki Tsunoda. He might be a tiny bit hot-tempered for that Red Bull team, which is something that Red Bull don't really want. They want something cool, calm, and collected who can score points a lot. And I think it's honestly a gamble on who will get that seat. They might think that Sergio Perez, hang on, you didn't help us get the constructor this year. You didn't help us get the drivers either, if they lose the drivers. You might be getting the little boot kick. See, my hopium predictions of what I want to happen. Dan Ricciardo to Red Bull, Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, RB. However, let's be 100% honest, that's not going to happen. It's still going to be Perez in that Red Bull. Still going to be Verstappen in the Red Bull. Yuki's still going to be in the RB. And Liam Lawson's going to be in the RB. That's probably what's going to happen. Now, of course, everybody in Formula 1 is always under pressure. I could easily stand here and say that, hey, next year, if Charles Leclerc gets slapped up by Lewis Hamilton, then he will be maybe not so much the golden child or golden boy of Formula 1 anymore. It might be a little different of a story. Everyone's under pressure, right? But I think that somebody who also is massively under pressure is Valtteri Bottas. There's a singular little seat left in the Alpine team that has to be filled, right? Next to Nico Hülkenberg. And it might be Vettel, but I think, no, it won't be Zhou Guanyu, and it won't be anybody who isn't under contract at the moment, except for Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas is still that little wild card to play. He still has the facilities, he still has the speed, hopefully, to actually be good in that car, right? He's just another consistent pair of hands that will be good for that team. That is if he still has the form that he did in 2019, 2020, maybe 2021 Mercedes times. If he still has that, it's his time to perform now, because Zhou Guanyu is higher in the standings than you. Yeah, that doesn't say anything because you both have 0 points. But Zhou Guanyu isn't getting that seat. And you're the only person I can think of to be getting that seat. And yet again, well, Valtteri Bottas has shown that he can do it. He's a 10-time race winner. And I'm not even sure if he wants to be in the sport. He might not be feeling any pressure. Maybe they've offered him a contract. He declined it. 2019 or 2018, he wanted to quit the sport. He didn't, but stayed in. Maybe yet again, he's losing touch with what he actually wants. Maybe he doesn't see the vision in that Audi team, but maybe he actually is feeling pressure. And the Audi's like, hey, you need to score a couple points this season. Do you actually have it? Or have you lost it? I don't know. You tell me. Of course, there are drivers who are still out of contract this season, but they've been doing a lot worse compared to their teammate. Like Kevin Magnussen. He's not going to get the seat. Let's keep it a $150 here. Valtteri Bottas. It's like the Haas 2021. There ain't no way of you scoring points. Not going to happen. So I don't know what pressure he's feeling. Maybe the pressure by everybody else to sign a contract. Maybe the pressure of like, hey, you still haven't signed a contract. Hey, I'm not sure. But there's something going around him, I think. Maybe. Who knows? So do you think that Valtteri Bottas is going to get that seat? Or is he just not going to cook up this year? And just, it's his last season in Formula 1. That would be kind of sad to see, no? You think so? Valtteri Bottas. Honestly, there are a lot of people who have been connected to that team. Vettel, Mick Schumacher, and, well, of course, Valtteri Bottas. However, I think his time in Formula 1 has come. I think this is going to be his last season. And I don't see him dilly-dallying in the sport for any much longer. I'm going to be honest. I'm actually going to be honest. I don't. I really don't. And that'd be sad to see, because Valtteri Bottas is a G. He's a G. However, I think he has probably other aspirations, and he doesn't want to dilly-dally in a team for any more. Like, this year has been a struggle. Next year's probably going to be the same. Then Audi's going to come around. That's a dice roll. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? Who knows? Gonna have to wait and find out. Oh, shit. Well, I'm recording these little segments after the fact of me recording the main video, right? And I don't want to move my camera back there and then do the outro. So, I hope you enjoy the video. If you disagree, if you think that there are any other drivers under pressure, let me know down in the comments, and whilst you're there, subscribe and like. Otherwise, you're a fake and a fraud. And, well, I love you either way. So, have a safe, fantastic rest of the day. Hope you enjoy the video. Don't die, because you can't watch other videos. And, wait, peace!
That's all, folks.